Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. Sunday NFL action. We've got Baltimore at Houston. Brian, this is a tough spot for the Houston Texans. They played their guts out last week against Indianapolis. A game that you gave out on video last week. You know, we did it early in the week, got the early number, 6.5, and it was that way most of the week. Got the money. It closed at 7, just as you said it would. Houston really did everything that they possibly could in that game. They came up short. They lost their starting quarterback in the game, Ryan Fitzpatrick, with a fractured leg. And they had to go with Tom Savage the rest of the way. Rookie in the NFL, you know, really no experience. So they were pretty much dead in the water at that point. They couldn't really get anything generated offensively. And now, technically, mathematically, they're still in the race for a wild card, but they're at the bottom of the heap where there are a ton of teams in front of them. The wild card is, you know, really not realistic. How do they get up this week?
Yeah, that was the game last week they had to have. Savage gets hurt in that game. Now they got to go with Thad Lewis from Duke is actually going to be the quarterback here. They actually signed another former Houston, Case Keenum, onto the roster here. So they're in very dire straits here offensively. So it means they got to run the football. Baltimore is a team that right now, Baltimore's a team coming on. I was at one of the local casinos the other day, and they had 30-1 on Baltimore to win the Super Bowl. That may be some value. Problem you have here is Baltimore's got a couple of defensive backs that are out, and they've had problems defending the pass. But this is a great matchup for them because they're going up against a team that doesn't pass the ball with their quarterback situation.
Absolutely. And we're going to do a video later. I'm going to do a Marco's Minute where I'm talking about handicapping the final 2 weeks of the NFL. And, you know, one of the things is generally I don't like to get involved where you have these games that, you know, the quote must-win situation because you're paying a premium in most instances. But this is one of those things that because of all the subsets of this game, what happened to Houston last week, you know, basically knocking them out of the playoffs, losing their quarterback, and then losing the backup, it's just a horrible spot for them. And I just don't see how they're going to be able to generate enough offense. Now, we always have that possibility because Houston does have a decent defense, that maybe the defense rises to the occasion with J.J. Watt and stuff. But Baltimore's got too many offensive weapons. And we also got the other intangible, the offensive coordinator for Baltimore. I think you might know this team a little bit. You know, yeah. Gary Kubiak makes his return to Houston. You know, this is a guy that was a quarterback or was the head coach for a long time at Houston. You know, gave his heart and soul. Almost died one game coaching. Remember the game where they took him at halftime?
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
as a player, he had a lot of heart. I mean, yeah. he was one of those guys that kept you in the game. He wasn't a great quarterback, but kept you in the game. I guess he was one of the game managers they talk about. But Baltimore's won 5 out of the last 6. They seem to play this team every year, even though they're not in the same division. But Baltimore knows how to beat this team. And as you said, the offensive situation for Houston's pretty dire at this point.
Yeah. All right. I say to go ahead and take Baltimore. We're going to lay the points. This is not something that I generally like to do a lot, but given the circumstances, it's the only way to play this game. You got to take Baltimore and lay the points here. Guys, if you want to join me on Sunday, I'm releasing my 5% NFL Game of the Year. Now, if you joined me last Sunday for my Game of the Month, my 5% play, we had Dallas, big winner over Philadelphia on the Sunday night game. I've only had 11 plays all season that I've released as a 5% play. We're 9-2 on the season with those plays. If you want to join me, head on over to WagerTalk.com. You can pick up the game by itself, or you can pick up a weekend all access or a 7-day package available. All of those would include the game of the year. If you buy the game by itself, as we do with each and every 5% play at WagerTalk.com, we put our money where our mouth is. If you purchase the game for $30 and it loses, we give you a 150% guarantee. We'll put $45 in your account to use for future service from that capper. That's the way we do it at WagerTalk.com. All right, he's Brian Leonard. I'm Marco D'Angelo. We're going to be right back here on WagerTalk.com. We've got another NFL play Brian's going to give you a free pick next on WagerTalk.com.